D, what are you reading or listening to now? Share something you've learned.
Yeah. So I'm reading a book of short stories called Jesus' Son.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. So that was interesting so far. I haven't gotten through the whole thing, but it is interesting. And I've heard it recommended over and over and over again, so I figured I'd check it out. And I hate to sound like a broken record, but for the past few weeks, I've been listening to this podcast about the Wrath of the Khans. And it's just amazing. And I won't go into it because nobody cares, but seriously listen to it. Wrath of the Khans, about the Mongol conquests.
Hardcore history?
Yeah. It's really, I mean, I don't care about history. It's fascinating. So, now I care about history. I mean, things that, yeah. I really don't want to go into what I've learned about the Khans again, so I'm just going to skip that part. Yes. Question.
Talking about Star Trek? Wrath of Khan?
Yes, nailed it. You're clearly very familiar.
Steve?
What I'm reading now is, it's called The Fifth Sacred Thing by Starhawk. It's a novel.
That's a person's name?
Yeah,
That's a
or
pretty cool
pen name or whatever.
Mhm.
But it basically, I'm only like 60 pages into it right now, but it's basically showing the contrast between like a harmonious society and a disharmonious society. So like the main place where the main characters are from are like this harmonious, almost utopian type of society that are doing most things right, but they're like an isolated island. They're like in a valley, and all around them is this disharmonious society. So it's about their struggle because of that. So you see that discrepancy between the two type of societies. One that's like they have like natural healers and energy healing, and they do a lot of that spiritual stuff, and they're very symbiotic with nature. Like they have gardens in the streets and all that type of stuff, and you see that juxtaposed against this really, really fucked up kind of society. So it makes it interesting. Yeah. So it makes you evaluate the world around you.
Huh.
Yeah, that's it for me.
Did you ever finish Shantaram?
Yeah, I finished that last week at some point. And that was just a phenomenal novel. Like 900 something pages.
Shantaram, like C-H-A-N?
No, Shantaram.
Shantaram.
Yeah.
Gregory David Roberts.
Yeah, that guy is such a good writer. Like his writing is so eloquent and captivating, and he's just so colorful and descriptive too. And the story is just
Mind blowing.
yeah, it's an exciting story on top of that. So I tore through 900 pages.
Mr. Coakley, the first.
Oh, thank you.
Actually, second. Sorry. I mean to spoil.
Yeah, why you gotta rain on my parade?
Throwing that out there.
Yeah, I don't appreciate that.
What are you reading or listening to now? Share us some goodies.
I'm finishing up The Count of Monte Cristo. I've been reading it for a while, but I've also been reading a couple other books while I've been reading it. So I figured I'm in the home stretch, might as well just knock it out so I can add something else, because I've been kind of...
What'd you get out of it?
What did I get out of this?
What are you getting out of
Vengeance is fucking sweet.
it?
No, never underestimate a person with drive and desire. I mean,
Power of the human spirit.
oh yeah, and vision. It entails what we talk about, visualizing and all that stuff. I mean, you got a poor fisherman who knows jack shit about anything, wrongly accused, goes to prison for a while, and he emerges like this brand new man, able to conquer anything, just because he has that one vision, that goal, desire. I mean, sure, his head may not be in the right place, but who doesn't want to exact a little revenge on those who screwed him?
Old Boy? Has anyone seen that movie? I don't think so. It's pretty good. It's on Netflix, but I think that might be along the same
Oh, really?
storyline, and it's quite excellent.
Nice.
So I'm just throwing that out there. Sorry.
Oh, no worries. And then
Excellent.
I listened to a lot of the Model Health Show I like Sean Stevenson. He's
The-
on point.
What's
Yeah.
it called?
The Model Health Show.
Oh.
His latest one.
I like the one with Prince E.
Yeah. Oh, did you listen to that?
Yeah,
That was pretty
it was
awesome.
so good.
That was pretty awesome. His latest one is diabesity, which is a term coined, and it's actually a book. It's diabetes and obesity really combined. And it's pretty much about how, eight steps you can not cure, but you can reverse your type 2 diabetes, which also ties over to obesity. 'cause
But
a lot
I
of
thought
it's
it was
kinda
all
the
in
same.
my genes.
Yeah, it's on your genes.
I
And the food
I
that
can't
you're told
change
to
it.
eat are the best.
To be fair, occasionally that's true. It's
But
just
he also
very rare.
brings it up, the whole
Step
epigenetics thing,
Yeah.
It's might not be quite as set in stone as you think. There's a lot of things our genes say that aren't exactly expressed within us. I mean, we all probably harbor a ton of diseases we don't know about.
It's just
But
are
it's-
they are
it's
they
in our
getting
genes.
turned on?
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. And I've heard a lot of the
y'all have
people.
cancer cells.
Yeah.
You don't know me.
A lot of the people that are like well versed in epigenetics say like there's basically only a small number of genes that you can't change, like the chassis of a car. So it's like basically maybe your skin color and your facial structure, even that gets compromised. Like your jaw is like
Not quite as big as it should be.
yeah, like
The whole
it
list
could
of
be
teeth.
robust according to what you eat and what you're exposed to,
Yeah.
or it can collapse in on itself. So even that kind of stuff
Just
is
like a
dependent on environmental factors.
By the
too.
way,
Why
I
do you
forgot
think
to
I'm
say
such
very
a
quickly,
scientist?
my sister's boyfriend, he is one of the people that he works for MIT and they just map the epigenome. The
That's
human.
awesome.
Yeah. And I was like, oh, Steve would love that.
Epigenetics fascinates me.
Yeah. Well, for me, I've been listening to The Power of Now,
Yeah, but
Eckhart Tolle, and I'm glad I finally, I'll admit, this book was so popular and everywhere, I avoided it. Like, whenever I see just like something, I'm like, oh, it must be pot mass trash.
there's something to it.
Yeah, no, it's really good. It's kind of tough to listen because his voice is very hypnotic. So I begin to start to fall asleep or drift, but very deep. He talks a lot about time, clock time, psychological time, being a constant observer to your thoughts, not being them.
Hmm.
A lot of good overlap with meditation.
Mindfulness.
Yep. So yeah, that's been a pleasant surprise. So I've got a few of his audiobooks I'm going through.
I see how you people listen to those. I just feel like I would not retain anything listening to the
You'd be
book.
amazed if it's good.
Well, even
I-
like Dan Carlin's.
The hardcore history that
Yeah.
I was talking about.
I like listening to podcasts, but I don't retain nearly as much as I could or should.
Just listen to hardcore history. Just trust me. The dude is enthusiastic and interesting.
I'll have
It's
to
been
do it.
over the top
Focuses-
at times.
Oh,
But
yeah.
yeah.
Are they
Focuses on the interesting.
are they extremely long though?
They're like an hour each.
Oh, that's fine.
Yeah.
I can do that.
But it's
It's very engaging.
all I will say is I personally
Much
think
more than this
something.
podcast.
Yeah, exactly. Way more.
Wow, way to sell it short.
I mean, no, it's great.
Yeah.
No, but the Wrath of the Khans. The
Okay,
Mongol
review
conquest
from
is
Mike.
amazing. It's the most interesting thing ever. It's like the power of the military, blah, blah, just do it. I should really get reimbursed for this.
All right. Lastly, share an interesting quote for listeners to chew on over the coming week. Sapparato?
I came across a pretty interesting Alan Watts quote last night. The dude never ceases to blow my mind.
Alan Watts, brief bio.
He's
Oh, got it.
he basically brought the Eastern Zen Buddhist philosophy to the West. So he like translated it for the West basically.
Nice.
So mind blowing dude. Like if you listen to his lectures, you're like, whoa, wow. Like it's just
Yeah, one more time for emphasis.
I'm not really following.
so the quote of his that I'll share is, to understand music, you must listen to it. But so long as you are thinking, I am listening to this music, you are not listening. So it's about, mindfulness. Just being fully present instead of thinking about everything.
JJ, what do you got?
Oh, really?
Yeah.
I'm gonna throw 2 out there just because they kind of go somewhat hand in hand,
Bonus.
maybe.
No extra charge.
All right. So this first one is Henry David Thoreau, and it is pursue some path, however narrow and crooked, in which you can walk with love and reverence. I thought that was pretty sweet. And then this next one, my homeboy Bruce Lee. If you always put limits on everything you do, physical or anything else, it will spread into your work and into your life. There are no limits. There are only plateaus, and you must not stay there. You must go beyond them.
Yeah.
Excellent.
I love that.
For me, I got an excerpt from The Power of Now. The whole essence of Zen consists in walking razor's edge of now. To be so utterly so complete that no problem, no suffering, nothing. That is my quotes cut off, so it's all fucked up. And I just realized that. In the absence of now, absence of time, all your problems dissolve. But yeah, I had to take a screenshot of it, and it's cut off.
I have a quote.
So,
I'll
fail.
see this, don't worry.
So basically, the power of now.
There you go.
That's bad.
Alright, so Teddy Roosevelt. It is not the critic who counts, not the man who points out how the strong man stumbles, or where the doer of deeds could have done them better. The credit belongs to the man who is actually in the arena, whose face is marred by dust and sweat and blood, who strives valiantly, who errs, who comes short again and again, because there is no effort without error and shortcoming, but who does actually strive to do the deeds, who knows great enthusiasms, the great devotions, who spends himself in a worthy cause, who at the best knows in the end the triumph of high achievement, and who at the worst, if he fails, at least fails while daring greatly, so that his place shall never be with those cold and timid souls who neither know victory nor defeat. It's called The Man in the Arena.
That
Very
last
good.
part, those cold and souls who don't know victory or defeat.
Well, I guess it makes you feel better about all your defeats.
Yeah, well, that's
Yeah.
the key. But it makes you feel really good about trying.
That's a great quote. I've heard it before.
I actually haven't heard yours.
I
I had to make that.
I think I might have one here in the bottle cap.
Oh, yeah.
It says, "Have a nice beer."
Oh, this one says live free or ride. That's really helpful, I think, to our audience.
Yeah.
All right. Well, we got a challenge for the upcoming week.
Oh, God.
Yes. No.
Let's go.
I'm happy.
I have a challenge for myself that you guys can do too to piggyback off of the one that I did for last week. So last week's was to not just say good when someone asks you how's your day going or something like that. But for this week, I'm just gonna reply to that with treetops.
Treetops?
Yeah, I'm not going to do that.
Why not? Then?
So it's
No
really gonna challenge
It
myself
doesn't make
socially.
any sense.
That's the point, though?
Is it?
It could be. What is the point, Steve? Exactly.
Just to
Why
to
not?
throw yourself out of your comfort zone.
To make people wake up.
Yeah. Treetops.
Wake up, sheeple.
So we don't have like a set challenge for this week, then?
Has anybody got something? I can always think of random shit.
Change your look in some way. I don't know. What's yours?
I'll trim my pubes.
Oh,
No.
God. No. No.
Don't do it. It's all about the bush.
Yeah. Everyone, your bush is famous. Oh God, we need to edit the fuck out of this podcast.
Why would you edit it? It's about being
Okay.
yourself.
I encourage, as a challenge, when the light is red and you come up behind somebody at a traffic light, honk.
No. That makes me a dickhead. That makes me an asshole.
That's not nice.
That's what people do in Boston all the time. Like,
I don't like that
second
shit,
it
yeah.
turns green. Brrr. Phew. So you're that guy?
All right. So when
Shouldn't it
somebody,
be something about like personal growth?
yeah, when somebody asks you how your day is, so how's it going? Just say aliens. And keep going.
By the way, if we wanted to have another option, just throw it out there in case we don't want to honk at people.
I like where you're going.
I will say I tried something this week, which was giving something up that was a big part of my life, but was a vice, which is having Reddit and Facebook on my phone. So I deleted them both, and I'm trying it for a week, seeing how it goes. And to me, that is a big step because that's like how I primarily access both of those social media time-wasting sources.
Nice.
I
So
like that.
giving up a vice could be for 1 week only, and then if you decide to continue, you're welcome to. Not limiting you guys, but that could be an option. How about that?
I'd probably never go on Facebook if I deleted it.
Exactly.
I like that.
All right. Well, thank everybody who downloaded and listened. We encourage you again to do a review on iTunes. And if you take a picture of it, submit it to hashtag Lifehack Advisors for your potential giveaway of a Life Curve membership or Steve's Pokemon cards.
Pikachu.
Mm.
Until next time, thank
Gotta
you.
catch 'em all.
And questions to info@Lifehack Advisors.
Auf Wiedersehen.
Have a nice life. Have a life now. Until next time. Cheerio.